snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So I am here today to do a book review, and the book that I am going to be reviewing is a new start to a series. It is called 12 Kings of Sharakai in the US. Over here in the UK it's only called 12 Kings. Don't know why they cut off the ending, weird, but whatever. And it's the first one in his new series. I really enjoyed this. I believe it only came out this year, and I read this because I went to FantasyCon and I knew that he was going to be there, and I also went to an event where he was going to be signing books. So I do actually have a signed copy of this, but it is at my dad's right now, so I can't show you. It's in my FantasyCon vlog though, I'll put a link to it below. This book was just so good, so fun and so entertaining. It had a really great female lead character called Cheda, and Cheda is basically living in this world in the desert, which is already a very interesting concept because not a lot of fantasy is focused in the desert, and I like it when it is, and it's something a bit different from medieval castles. It's basically set in this desert, and there is a city in the desert which is called Sharakai, and this is where she lives with some of her friends, and she also has grown up her whole life there. She is basically an orphan now. She doesn't know her father. Her mother died a fair while ago, a couple of years, and she believes that her mother was really wrongfully murdered by the kings, the 12 kings of Sharakai, who rule over the city, and she doesn't know necessarily why or how her mother got involved in things that would get her killed, but she has some sort of vengeance quest that she wants to go on, and this story is kind of following her. What I liked about this story is that it's told in sort of two narratives. So we get the present day narrative where we're following Cheda as she is going about her day-to-day life. She is a pit fighter, which is really interesting, and she also has a great friend called Emre, and Emre is her friend. He is a boy. The thing I liked about this was that they are friends. They are not love interests to each other. They are friends, and even though there is a moment where they're sort of thinking about it, when it comes back to it, they're friends. So I liked that. Emre and Cheda's relationship was constantly evolving throughout the book. We get to see the storyline of the present day where she's running around with him and they're having a great time and doing all these sort of undercover missions that are slightly illegal and earning money and sort of just making their way in the world. And then we also go back in time and we follow Cheda's story as she was with her mother when they were a lot younger, and her mother was still around, and her mother used to give her these petals that kind of have this magical drug-like quality where they can enhance your speed and your capabilities. And she also took her out to meet witches and see these fortune tellers and things like this. So her mother was a very interesting character, and we don't get an awful lot of information about her mother, but we do get more and more clues as the story goes on as to what she was involved in. And I found it so interesting. It was such an engaging read. I think this only took me maybe 2-3 days to read. It was very easy to get through, and I really fell in love with the character of Cheda straight from the get-go. She was good as a character because she had flaws, and she had moments where she did things that she knew were wrong or she regretted afterwards, and she did regret them and she felt remorse over them, and she corrected her ways and did things better next time, and I liked that about her, and I thought that she was a good, strong female character to carry the story. I also really liked Emre as a character. I thought he was also a very great character in terms of his plot. He had some things going on that were separate from Cheda's story, but I liked how the two of them ended up getting dragged into things together even though they weren't trying to. And I also really like the dynamic of the 12 kings of Sharakai who were ruling over this city in the desert, in the middle of nowhere. It's just such an interesting concept, and when you learn more about the kings and more about the magic of this world, you get to see that there's a lot of politics and secret things going on behind the scenes too, and I really enjoyed that. So I would say that if you want a really fun series that is starting up now and it's very new and it's very exciting and very fresh, then this is a great series. It has an alternative fantasy setting, the desert. It also has a great female lead character written by a man, so I highly appreciate that. And I also just think it's a great story. There were some twists that I didn't think about and could never have imagined, but was so surprised and interested in when they did actually happen. So I would highly recommend this. I do think it's an excellent story. I ended up giving it a 4.5 overall. It's really fun, really interesting, and I would love to hear your thoughts. If you guys have read it, please do let me know. If you haven't, then definitely go and check it out because it is really fun, and I would love to hear more people chatting about it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all very soon in another video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little chat.